Hi, welcome to the Andrew Buckle magazine review of Past Perfect, number 198, February 2022. It's actually got next month's on there. I was actually, in a previous run through of this, I turned around and said this month's. No, it's next month, so you can see Thunderation. But also got Return to the Planet of the Apes. I love that as well. Unusual animation. You've got TV21, the Empath, etc. So what's in this? Well, got a great little introduction as ever, and also you've got a list of other things there in the content. So you can see Daredevil, She-Hulk, Silver Surfer, Mr. Miracle, the Thunder Agents, and much, much more. Buffy, Star Trek, there's loads of them. Then you've got a great little letters page. I love reading the letters. Letters are great. It's nice when people put all the various comments about things that they would like to see as well, upcoming. And then there's Planet of the Apes. Now, apparently there was an issue with this. I'm not going to mention it, but you can check out on his Facebook section about that. And let's get to the actual episodes of Escape from Tomorrow. I love reading the comments. The comments are great because quite often I read it, I think, you know what, I really like that. And this turns around and says, that was a terrible episode, or that episode just didn't work because of X, Y, Z, or this is... I was really pleased to see that my favourite episode, however, was also considered highly as well, which is always great. But some of the episodes I thought, you know what, I really enjoyed that one. And, well, unfortunately it gets a very bad review. But it's still just great. Just goes really. I suppose not everyone's going to agree on what's good and what's not. I mean, I think sometimes perhaps that... this one. Love that one. I think this one, it does say that it was quite the legacy. Long shot, obvious optical painting. Yeah, interesting decor done in American Disaster, echoes of Star Trek, etc., etc. Logan's Run, all sort of things that I must admit I love. So that one, the legacy. And also, of course, gives a listing of all the people obviously involved there as well. And you've got, now, the series, well, never really ended, did it? So it was one of those sort of things. You've got a great cast in it as well. It's got some lovely pictures there. The Liberator, and Up Above the World So High. And that was it. Well, of course, there was the cartoon series, but hold on, that should have been a series that could much, a bit like Logan's Run. I thoroughly enjoyed Logan's Run, and I also like Planet of the Apes. But anyway, Daredevil. So you got the Frank Miller 181, Last Hand, Frank Miller, story arc, Klaus Johnson there as well, Elektra, of course, there. And again, it's always fascinating to read these comments. Just absolutely, because often when I read them in a particular way, and it's nice to read someone else's comments about them, and you think, oh, you know what, that's true. I hadn't thought about that, hadn't seen it that way, you know, and it's definitely a different perspective about the thing, and it's just great, absolutely great. I love that story, I must admit, and that's the one, yeah, She-Hulk. She-Hulk, that story I never read. And unfortunately that one, the She-Hulk one, issue 50, I think is quite expensive now. Special 48-page issue. I went and had a quick look after reading. I thought, oh, that sounds good. Must go out and have a look for that. And of course, I think it's expensive. Anyway, you might find it cheap. But he's got a great sort of thing. Look at that. Brilliant bit of Frank Miller there. Now, I'm not certain if that is Frank Miller, but certainly in Frank Miller's style, of course, the Sin City. And just glorious. I love their Galactus as well. Classic. And you got some interesting storylines with She-Hulk. I love the way that he puts various scripts in front of She-Hulk at a certain point. And of course you've got Now, I think She-Hulk should be done like that all the way through. Why not? I think it's great. Also the sensational She-Hulk there, obviously the Thor version. And you got Now, I love those ones. That was my first exposure, really, to Silver Surfer. I didn't buy the American ones, but this one, with a cover like this, need we say more? True Believer. And I love old, they're obviously a story that never happened. I do not actually recall the Silver Surfer burst in when they were battling the sort of Sentinels. Really? They look very odd Sentinels there. And even better, you've got a torch in the scene as well. Really talk about juxtaposing a scene there, but still, they were always classic. I'm a big fan of the old Silver Surfer. I know they get a bit of a rough press. They're not always, but still, I loved them. And you got there Silver Surfer. Actually, it's nice seeing it in black and white. And actually, that's why sometimes when I'm looking forward to the Artisan edition that's coming out fairly soon, I prefer the black and white ones, to be honest, than the colours. It's just, hey, Mr. Miracle. So there, Mr. Miracle, the closing jaws of death. That's not very good, is it? Have that Mr. Miracle there. And then you got the Thunder Agents. And it's great, again, he's following through all these Thunder Agents ones. And the amazing Mr. Mech, Story Unknown, art by Steve Ditko. And then you got number 18, September 1968. I enjoyed those stories. I mean, were they brilliant? No, they were very clunky at times. But I genuinely enjoyed Thunder Agent. I've got quite a lot of issues, and there was some really weird artwork in there. Look at a great bit of Ditko there. And again, it's got a great little talking about it. And again, gives insights. You think, oh, you know what? I hadn't thought about that. No Man there. Good old No Man. Yeah, never given much. Or Dynamo, the Arena. That was great. A Roman story. Gleep! Gleeps! Who says Gleeps? You ain't too handy with, etc. Are you? Lovely stuff. And then on to now there's not much at the end. And you've got here Memory Lane, you've got here with a bit Star Trek, Next Generations. It's got a very brief section on there. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. This one I don't reckon Flooded. Oh yes, I do remember that one. Flooded one. Yeah. A Day of the Doctor, of course, Doctor Who one as well. And that was great. I enjoyed that one. This episode is blah blah blah. And of course, there it's got a dedicated to Chris Achilleos. And I did a review of a book about him, and absolutely superb artist. I loved all those Doctor Who covers, the Target books, absolutely brilliant. And again, some more letters at the end. Well, yet another absolutely brilliant issue, even if apparently does. I didn't spot it either. I must admit, anyway. It's like everything, love. Sometimes I do videos and I think afterwards, you know what, I said something. Oh, I said something completely wrong. Do you redo everything? Possibly, yes. But sometimes you just think, I'm not perfect about it either. So I think it's, however, love this magazine. Really, really worth checking out. Past Perfect. Now, you might not probably go for every single month. Might be certain, months that you find stuff that's not particularly what you're interested in. Same like Infinity magazine. I love that, but sometimes it just, it's not something you really like. But this, I love this one. Plenty of Apes, just great to have that. Just really nice to get beautiful little index of all synopsis of all, as well as of course the review as well. Just great. Brilliant magazine, absolutely perfect, totally recommended.